Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress of the Budo Ryu. Today I'm going to make a quick little video for my vlog, and as a reminder, all my vlog videos are unedited, so if I fumble my words a little bit, stay with me. But today we're going to discuss Budo Ryu Ninjutsu, the craft. Now, this started from a conversation that I had with one of my students that are in the Budo Ryu online ninjutsu dojo. And I told this particular student, I said, make sure that you study just as much the craft of Budo Ryu Ninjutsu as you do the art of Budo Ryu Ninjutsu. And that statement started a whole new conversation and went on for quite some time. So this morning I decided to make a Kuden lesson regarding the craft, and I posted it on our Facebook page. I'll put a link to that specific post below in the comment section so you guys can read that. And inside that particular post I said that I would make a video regarding that post and give you guys a little bit more clarity as to what I mean. Before we begin, I think it's important that you guys understand that everyone's going to have differences as far as what is ninjutsu, what is not ninjutsu, what is bujutsu, what is budo, etc., etc. Everyone has their own definition as to what those things are. However, as long as my students understand what my definitions are and they understand where I'm coming from, then they can actually learn the art appropriately and understand the transmission, understand what it is that I'm saying, and then take that transmission, take that information, and put that into their life, put that into their art, put it into their craft. And that's exactly what this video is going to be about, is understanding what I mean when I say the art of Budo Ryu Ninjutsu and the craft of Budo Ryu Ninjutsu. When you go to a museum, you look at a museum that's all full of art. Okay, these are finished projects. These are they're something they're beautiful, they're magical. You look at them and you enjoy them, and you get to go to an art museum and you see this beautiful, magnificent art, and it inspires you. And that is exactly kind of the idea of the art of. Okay, it's almost like it's an expression of a human in some way or another, whether it's through painting, whether it's through dance, whether it's through poetry, whether it's through making statues or whatever it is. It's an expression of a human through artistic measure. So it could be through a variety of different things. One type of art is martial arts, or an expression of who we are through military movement or through military exercise. Now, with that being said, a craft is something that you're constantly working on. All those art pieces that you saw in the museum, they were art, but before they were art, it was a craft. It was something that one of those artists were working on. It wasn't finished yet. That's why when you guys are in school, you go to an arts and crafts class. You work on crafts, you develop different ones, and you get to do that. But at the end, you have this piece of art that means something. So when I talk about Budo Ryu Ninjutsu and I want you to work on your craft, I'm talking about your skill set, your ability to do what is necessary in a reality, extremely aggressive and negative situation where you have to actually use the skills that you've developed from studying the martial art. But the craft, that's something that's specific between you and the art itself. That's between you and Budo Ryu Ninjutsu. It's very intimate. It's the things that you feel, it's the skills that you've acquired, and it's the things that you understand. When you go to, say, the Daikomyo side, the Budo Ryu Daikomyo side, everybody will be studying the art of Budo Ryu Ninjutsu. Everyone's going to be studying this art, and they're going to understand it in a different way. They're all going to apply it in many different ways. However, the craft is something that's going to be individual. It's something specific between you and the art itself. And that craft is something that's constantly being developed. It's something that you should always be trying to make better. It doesn't stand still. It's timeless. It's Budo Ryu Ninjutsu is constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, because your craft, your skill set should be getting better. And that's what I mean by that. So when I say make sure that you study the craft as much as you do the art, I think it's wonderful when people come in to the dojo or the online university and you guys are like, well, the historical lessons from this scroll and the kuden of this scroll and the kata from this tradition, and all that's well and good. But don't forget, you have to study the craft. You have to study how you can actually apply all of these things with your physical skill set and take that and apply that to your life and apply that to something you can use. That's the craft. That's something that just keeps going. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stand still. It's not stagnant. And these principles and philosophies that we study, although they worked hundreds of years ago, they still work today. Principles and strategies don't change. The times change. And that's what I mean by developing your skill set within the craft. You should be able to apply these principles and strategies in specific situations that you can use that to protect yourself and the ones that you love. So when we were talking about make sure that you develop your skill set, make sure that you study the craft, that's what I mean by that. So when you guys look at my Kuden posts and you guys are looking at some of the things that I write on social media, when I'm talking about the craft, I'm specifically talking about your personal skill, your personal ability to be able to do the things that we are teaching you to do. I'm not talking about the art. Now, I know that a lot of martial arts discuss and they say, well, that's what every martial art does. It's not true. And I'm not trying to say that all these martial arts are full of shit, okay? But there is a reason why I decided to make, our own organization of Budo Ryu. Most martial arts, specifically the Do arts, and again, I'm going to say most of them, not all of them, but most of them, when you walk into a dojo, you're going to study an art. And you are going to look like everybody else. If there's 50 people out there doing kata, 50 people are going to look the exact same way. 50 people are going to want to look exactly like the Soke. They want to kick like the Soke. They want to punch like the Soke. They want to make sure that they move exactly like the Soke. You know what I mean? That in that sense, that isn't a craft. That isn't a craft. That isn't a martial craft. Okay? That is someone studying an art form because it's a finished project and they're trying to make it look exactly like the Soke, exactly like the Grand Master. Okay, so they are studying a martial art. If you're studying one of these like Taekwondo or something like that, and you have 50 people out there doing kata, and all 50 people are doing it the same way, and and all that kind of stuff, it's all well and good. I don't believe any martial art is better than another. They're all different. They all have different pros and cons, and everyone should choose the martial art that best fits them. I'm just saying that Budo Ryu Ninjutsu does not fit that mold, because even though, yes, we have kata, and everybody should be doing the kata correctly, I don't want all of my students to be moving the same. I don't want all of them to look like robots. I don't want them to be pre-programmed to do certain things against specific attacks. I mean, the idea is to be as efficient and pragmatic in any situation possible. So for everyone to be moving like a damn robot, that makes absolutely no sense to me. So even though, yes, the majority of martial arts can have 50 people do a display and everybody does these particular kata one way, or you have all these old Koryu arts and the Koryu, and they're trying to move exactly like Soke, and they walk like Soke, and they dress like Soke, and all that kind of shit. That's all well and good, and if that's what they enjoy, more power to you. But, I hope to God my students don't dress like me and act like me and all that kind of stuff. I want them to dress like them. I want them to act like them. I want them to be them. I want them to develop the craft. I want them to understand Budo Ryu Ninjutsu, the craft of what we're doing. And that itself is a skill set. That is something, and it's more than just skills, because I could say that's the skill set, but it's more than skills. It's the intimate connection between the student and the art. The connection. The mind, the body, the spirit, Tenchi Jin, heaven, earth, man. There's a connection that all students of the Budo Ryu, all students that are studying Budo Ryu Ninjutsu, there's a connection between themselves and the art that's very intimate. And that is the craft. And that is what's going to save your ass if you're in a situation where you need to use the skills that you've acquired. The art don't fail. The art came from traditions that fought on the battlefield. The arts came from samurai traditions. The art in itself is perfect. We have to step up our game. We have to make sure that our craft is at a level of a high enough skill set to be able to protect ourselves against anything that happens in our life, mentally, physically, and emotionally. We should be able to protect ourselves. So when you guys hear me talk about the Kuden of Budo Ryu Ninjutsu, study the art of this or the craft of this, develop the craft, look at the art, look at the Kuden of this, now you guys are starting to understand what I mean by that. It doesn't matter who, what, where, when, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter the definition. I guess that's where I'm going at with that. It doesn't matter the definition of this or the definition of that. If you're studying Budo Ryu Ninjutsu, the only thing that matters is you understand what I mean when I say this is what we're doing. This is exactly why I always end all of my things the same. I always say good luck in your journey, because part of that journey is going to be studying the art and developing the craft. That's what it's going to come down to. You guys are going to study the arts, and you're going to develop your skills and your connection and work on the craft of what it is that we do. So, if you guys made it this far, thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you guys are students of the Budo Ryu, please put the definitions and the explanation of the craft in your guys' Jikiden Densho. If you guys have any questions, please put it in the comment section below. And until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.